Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelly Kane, and I'm the Marketing Manager for EandM. Thank you for attending our webinar today, DIY HMI, Solutions and Best Practices for Simple HMI Applications. After the webinar this morning, we will be doing a short Q&A. Please type any questions or comments into the Q&A box, the chat box, or email us at eandmwebinar@eandm.com. Now I'd like to introduce your presenters for today's webinar. Your first presenter is Bill Hintz. Bill has been working with Siemens Automation products for 25 years. He is currently an EandM Siemens product specialist working with customers to design new applications for Siemens products. And your second presenter will be Andy Whitworth. He is the co-founder and Director of Automation at VOLA Technologies, an industrial automation and control systems integrator. So let me go ahead and turn it over to you, Bill. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. And the subject for today's webinar is going to be simple HMI solutions. And to do that, we're going to use the Siemens basic panels that they've been out for many years now. And actually, what is new about them is the new second generation. So let's talk a little bit about some of the new features that are in that second generation product. If we look at the basic panels from the past here, they were a 4x3 formatted screen, and the actual new ones are actually going to go into the widescreen high-resolution displays. We're starting to see a lot more of an industry at this point. So we do have migration paths for all the existing basic panels and pretty much going up into the same form factor, so cutout holes and so forth are going to be about the same. What is new with all the features of the second generation are in detail the colors. Actually, we go from 256 to 64,000 colors. And why that's important is that if you're doing graphics and you're going to make a nice looking display, you can actually simulate 3D modeling with bringing in things like tanks and so forth with color gradients that actually make it look like a tank rather than a kind of a flat screen model of a tank. So that's real nice. The display, as I mentioned, goes from standard 4x3 to widescreen, low resolution to higher resolution pixelage. And then the backlighting is with LEDs, and LEDs give us a couple of things. They are clearer, and also the lifetimes are a lot longer with LEDs. The energy efficiency for an LED is a lot better than the old fluorescent backlighting as well. New for the second generation for memory, the old ones didn't have a memory expansion capability. The new panels actually allow us to plug in a USB memory stick, and the tag numbers have gone up significantly. So now we can actually do a little bit higher level projects within the basic panels. These new generation panels, like the basics, were actually engineered in TIA Portal, so we can actually integrate this into the PLC, sharing a database and so forth, and I think Andy's going to get in and show us a little bit about that. They also talk to a lot of other PLCs as well, so we can do Ethernet IP, we can do Modbus TCP and so forth. And I mentioned the energy efficiency, so the lower power of the backlighting, but you can also dim the backlighting as well. These things will find their ways into lots of different applications at this point, and actually for somebody that's gotten his hands into this in the trenches himself, we're going to pass this over to Andy.
All right, thank you, Bill.
Hey. Let me go ahead and give you the presenter role, Andy. There you are. We can see your screen just fine, Andy.
Okay. Oh, great stuff. Okay. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm the Director of Automation and co-founder of VOLA Technologies. We're a systems integrator located in the Sacramento area. We started the company in 2008 and to date have approximately 90 customers with around 180, 190 successfully completed projects. We have over 25 years of experience with Siemens Automation products. We work closely with EandM and work on projects directly for Siemens and their end customers. So we focus on 3 areas of industrial automation: custom engineered solutions, which involves a broad range of things, which include system concept, specification, electrical design, fully documented PLC, through PLC programs, through commissioning, factory acceptance testing, and site acceptance testing. Second area is platform migration. This is where we'll take a literal conversion of a program from a legacy platform, and we'll develop and take that functionality and recreate it for a new existing platform. That would also include on-site retrofit, installation, testing, and support. And then finally, on-site service and support. We support existing projects and systems and help plant personnel diagnose and fix issues. So I'd like to talk quickly here a little bit about a couple of success stories that we've recently completed using the Siemens second generation HMI. The first one was with a manufacturing customer who needed to replace an obsolete way system that was no longer supportable. The system comprised of 4 load cells and a PC-based interface on a truck press, which formed part of their manufacturing process. We supplied and installed, it was a Siemens S7-1200 PLC with 4 Sawarex way modules and load cells, along with a 9-inch second generation basic panel, HMI as the interface. What this allowed us, with a high resolution widescreen display, it allowed us to graphically regenerate an isometric representation of the press in SolidWorks, and we imported that image into the application using TIA Portal. The key benefits for doing this, it gave the customer a new intuitive overview screen that displayed the load cell weight readings and the hydraulic pressures, and it displayed them relative to the physical locations on the machine, making it much more intuitive and easy to use. Secondly, the system could now be supported internally by site personnel, and ultimately it resulted in a higher quality end product for the customer. Second success story, we have an OEM customer. They needed to replace, it was a board level control system on a paper handling machine. The machine comprised of 6 complex mechanisms that from time to time caused paper jams in one to 6 stations. Operators are often confused how to recover from these paper jams. They weren't sure exactly where to look on the machine, and it kind of extended the downtime and just a general element of confusion. So we supplied, again, it was an S7-1200 PLC platform, along with a 9-inch second generation HMI panel to control the machine and monitor the alarms. And what we did there, we took high resolution photographs of the mechanisms at each one of these 6 stations on the machine, and then using Photoshop, we developed close-up images and cleaned them up, and we imported them into the application using TIA Portal. We then developed some alarm logic in the PLC, which would automatically switch the screens on the HMI to display the photograph of the mechanism where the alarm was detected. So with the assistance of the photograph being displayed on the HMI and a simple step-by-step instruction guide, the operator was given clear step-by-step instructions on how to recover from a system paper jam. Again, the key benefits on this were we eliminated an area of ongoing confusion and thereby reduced the machine downtime for the OEMs and customers. The Siemens platform allowed for future improvements and functionality. It actually gave the OEM a market advantage over its competitors, because this was not done in that particular industry before. So what I'd like to do, I'd just like to step through a simple configuration. I have a project here which I've already created a PLC, just some simulation software. It's actually on my network here. And what we're going to do, I'm going to step you through just creating an HMI program, some simple graphics and animation. So we'll start with adding a new device. And on the HMI, we'll select the 9-inch panel. And we can either do the 9-inch basic, which is landscape view, or there's a portrait version. We're going to go ahead and use the landscape version here, and you get a graphic of the HMI. So as I click on that, what'll happen here, we'll get a step-by-step wizard, which will give us some basic functionality, some steps here for connectivity. I'm going to skip over the connectivity right now, because I need to change that to allow simulation on my network, and I'll come back to that in 1 second. So we can use a standard layout, a template, an overview screen, header, date, time, logo, and all that kind of thing, and we can customize that to our needs. There are some predefined alarm screens. Again, we're not on this presentation. We're not going to go through that, but there are some screens that can just automatically pop up when an alarm is detected or generated. We have a navigation page here where we can add screens, and it'll automatically create the buttons for navigation. So I've got an overview, main overview screen, a control screen where I'll import a graphic, and an I/O screen, which I'll also import a graphic into. And then some system screens, project information, user admin for generating, creating users and passwords, and such like. We can even swap programming language, drop out of runtime, and I'll just leave this as default for now. And then location of the buttons, I'm going to keep them along the bottom. That's where the membrane keypad push buttons are on the HMI, so I'll leave those as default. And what I'll do first, under the device configuration, I'm actually going to change the default IP address for something that matches my network here. And I'm going to then, on the network view screen, I want to connect to my PLC, which is already created inside my project. So I'm just going to drag and drop a connection to allow those two devices to communicate over Profinet. So the next thing down on the left-hand side is the HMI, and here are the screens. So if I expand that folder down there, is my control screen, my I/O status screen. So I'll open up the control screen. And as you can see, there's grayed out, there's the standard buttons at the bottom, and some navigation buttons are automatically created for us, along with the header, which will appear on all the screens. So if I go over to the right-hand side where my toolbox appears, I'm going to select a graphic view. I'm just going to drag that down there, and right-click, add a graphic. We've already created an overview for this particular application in SolidWorks. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that, and that's going to appear in here on my screen. So the next thing I'd like on this screen is some tank levels. So I'm going to go tank level for that tank, and we'll draw another tank level for this tank. To link these tank levels to tags, we can change the appearance, color, but I'm just going to leave these at default for the demonstration purposes. So under process tag down at the bottom, I'm going to specify a tag. And what I want to do, I want to navigate back to my PLC project that was already created under my HMI data block status. I want to select tank level 1. And if I go to the second tank, I want to select tank level 2. And it remembers where your last selection was made, so it makes it really quick and easy to add tags. So now I'm going to go and add a switch. Again, under my elements here, there's push buttons, tank level, which we've used. I'm going to add a switch down here. And I'm going to change the format of this switch to a switch with graphics. Now I want an on graphic and an off graphic. So for an on graphic, I've already created a drawing of a pump on. For an off graphic, drawing of a pump off. And again, go ahead and tag the switch to a tag that I've created in my PLC project under control, pump 1 start. And there are some graphics already within TIA portal which we have access to. Just to quickly demonstrate that. We'll select automation, pipes. I'll go with a higher color option for the pipes. And you can see there's a whole selection of different pipes that we can drag in. Let me quickly select one, drag something across here that'll give us an idea. Like that, just to make this real quick. I'll spend all the time doing graphics, and we can position that and tidy that up at a later stage. But there we have a pump. And what I'll do, just to speed this up, is I'll just select the pipes and the pump, and with a Control C for copy and a Control V for paste, I can actually duplicate that, and we can add a second pump for tank 2. And then to re-tag that second pump, we can just highlight it. The tag here, this is the first one, the first pump. Go down here. Come to my control word in my PLC again, and I'll select the second pump start. So now I'll compile the project. And we can either do one of two things. If you have the HMI with you, you can download and test the screen. Or we can do a simulation, start simulation within TIA portal, which will actually communicate to the PLC. Here's my simulation window, which represents the HMI. And if I go to my control page, start my pump. Now it's filling tank 1. And stop my pump. Next start pump number 2, and that's pumping out of tank 1 into tank 2. I'll close that, and then this is a graphic that we created within SolidWorks, but just to give you an idea, under an I/O status screen, what we like to do is help operators or maintenance staff, we like to pull in an image of the PLC. And what that would allow us to do then would be to animate the actual input and output LEDs. So the maintenance staff don't necessarily open the control cabinet door. They can actually bring up this screen and they can see the status of the PLC inputs and outputs to help diagnose potential problems. So just a quick summary of what we did there was I created a TIA portal project and configured a second generation basic panel application, imported an existing isometric image and scaled the image to size, and added a tank level overlay with some pump animation images. We configured the Ethernet communications between the S7-1200 PLC and the HMI, and then it allowed us then to simulate the HMI using TIA portal. And it looks like I've got a couple of questions here. First question I've got is there a preferred type of image file type that we recommend for importing into TIA portal? We generally stick with JPEGs or bitmap image file types. Obviously, we want to utilize the 64,000 colors available on the second generation panel, so the higher the color depth, the better quality the image will look. And second question here is, when using a USB memory stick on the basic panel, does it have to be a Siemens memory stick? On the new panel, on the new second generation panel, no, it can be any USB stick that would plug in, be recognized into on the system. So it looks like that's all I've got for now on questions. So this will end my portion of the presentation.
Okay, great. Andy, Bill, I do see one more question that came in. Does HMI support GIF files?
Does it support what files, sorry?
GIF files, .gif.
Yes, I believe you can bring a GIF file in, yeah, a GIF file.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Well, thanks, Andy, and thanks, Bill, for your time. That was great. And if anyone would like to review a portion of this webinar, a recording will be available on our website, EandM.com, this afternoon. Also, if you think of any questions after this webinar, feel free to email us at EandMwebinar@EandM.com. So thanks, everyone, for attending, and have a great weekend.